This is a customtkinter segmented button, and this is how it looks like. So this is a segmented button with 3 values. This one has 4 values, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create it and use it, how to customize it, and the most important methods that you can use with it. The idea of the segmented button is that when you click on one button or one segment, the other button segments get unselected. For example, here I'm clicking on value 2, the others are unselected, value 3, now value 2 get unselected, etc. To create the segmented button, just call CTkSegmentedButton, and then you specify the values. For example, here I'm specifying this list of values: value 1, value 2, value 3, and the command that will simply print the message segmented button clicked, adding to it the value or the corresponding value of the clicked button. But then you will have to define which button or which part is clicked. So for that you have 2 methods. The first one is to simply call set value. So set value 1, it will set the button with value 1 clicked. We are going to see that later. If you change the value, the other value will be clicked, and then you add your segmented button to the window. If we run the code, you can see that value 1 is selected. If I change here and I set it to value 2, value 2 is selected. But if I specify a value that doesn't exist, value 10 for example, and I run the code, none of the buttons is selected and I do not have any error message. The second way to specify the selected button is related to the way you create your button. For example, here we are going to use a string variable that will be initialized with a value. In here it's initialized with the value 2, and then you create your segmented button, but you associate with it that string value with the property, or by setting the variable property. In here the variable property is set to the segmented button var, and then you add your button to your window. Now if I run the code, I can see here that the value 2 is selected. If I want another one or another value selected, I can do this, value 3 in the string var, and I have now the value 3 selected. Now if I set a value that do not exist, again there will be no error, but also no button will be selected. We've already seen that we can get the value of the selected button from the onClick. There is also another method that you can use to get the selected value. For example, here we have our segmented button, so we can call the get method. So segmented button dot get, we are going to print the result to see and run our code. So there is no value, so it printed value 10, the value we've set with the previous command. If I set to 1, so it printed 1. So it's interesting, even if the value doesn't exist, if the button is set to that value, so get will return that value. There are other methods associated with the segmented button. There is the set method, we've already seen it. So using set, we can select or set the value of the selected button. There is also the method insert. It allows us to insert a value to the segmented button, even if it wasn't available before. So insert, we are going to insert at index. For example, at index 1, I'm going to insert the value added. So I can run my code again, and I have here at index 1 value added. There is also the delete method, so we are going to try it right now. Segmented button dot delete, we specify the value to delete. For example, here I'm going to delete value 1. We are going to run the code and see that value 1 disappeared. Now I'm going to try to delete a value that doesn't exist and see what will happen. We have an error generated because the value 10 doesn't exist in the list of values. We are going now to customize our segmented button by specifying values for some properties. Since we are working with the customtkinter library, we can specify 2 values for each customization property, one for the light mode and one for the dark mode, but we are going to work or set only one property and it will be automatically applied. We are going to start with the FG color. We are going to set it to red. We are going to see now the color applied to our segmented button. And here is the red color around the buttons. Now we are going to set the selected color, the color of the button when it is selected. We are going to set it to yellow and see how it will look like. So this is the selected color. It's the color of the selected button that we just set. Now we are going to define the text color, the color of the text of the segmented buttons or segmented button. So text color, we are going to set it to black, so equal black. Now we run the code, and here is the color of the text of the buttons. We will now change the color of the other buttons that are not selected. This is the property, or we are going to use the property and selected color, white. We are going to set it to white. So here are the other buttons. Now they are in white. 2 more colors to change. We want to change the hover colors. We will start with the hover colors of, or the hover color of the selected buttons. So selected hover color. We are going to set it to orange. Now if we run the code, we have our hover color changed to orange. Now we will change the other buttons hover color, hover and selected hover color. We will set it to light gray. We'll try it now. You can see here we have our light gray. We can specify another obvious or distinguishable color. Let's set it to pink. If I hover now, we have the pink color. The last 2 properties that we are going to see in this video, the corner radius, corner radius. We are going to set it, for example, to 20 to see how the button will look like. You can see the corner radius was applied to all the buttons. We are going also to change the width, the border width. First we are going to set it to 5 and see what will happen. You can see here that the border between the surrounding area and the buttons increased, this red color. But if we set it to 0, we can see that the space between the buttons almost disappear. So these are the most prominent or obvious customization properties that you may think of if you want to change the appearance of a segmented button. If you have any comment or question, let me know in the comment below. Bye.